Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be speaking about a book that is titled Chalice, the story of a living sanctuary. And this book is heavily illustrated. It's thick and quite heavy. This is the back of the book, and it reads, "The Chalice Well's red waters have run constantly at between 20,000 and 19,000 gallons a day since the mists of time. Within the pages of this book, you will find the unfolding story of this living sanctuary." Okay, this book is it's a great book to read if you are interested in the mystery of this place. I have always been obviously very entranced, for it all began with me being entranced by this geometric shape. And I discovered this shape, I believe it was about 10 years ago or so, and I wanted a pendant of it. I found it very beautiful. And then I discovered that this belonged, that it was associated with this place in England, in Britain, and it was associated with a well, because I didn't know about it. I just recently discovered it about, I believe it's been about 10 years that I've known about this place, and maybe even more. And I didn't even know how heavily powerful this place is until I read this book. I always thought, wow, it's so beautiful. I adore the image. I love the aesthetics of this place, the way it was built and created. But I didn't know how powerful and potent this area and location is on our earth. And it seemed to have really come to fruition and have a strength that people began to respect this place during the spiritualism movement. This is during the time of early 1900s. And many people began to want to preserve this place, to protect it. And this is a time of when people began to be very interested in the spiritual world, in the fairy realms, in the things that we cannot see, and the Theosophical Society was born. So this place, Chalice Well, is very much associated with the birthing of, you could even say, of the New Age movement and the Goddess movement. So this book is actually really enlightening, and I'm astounded by, when I was reading this book, how much this place has a connection to the birthing of the goddess religions upon our planet, because it seems to be like a holy place that is initiating changes upon our planet. It's almost this sacred place it's almost like the womb of the goddess is here, and it's always been, just like they said, the beginning of time, because this well has never dried up, these waters. And it seems to be such a powerful place that was so hidden, and no one knew about it, and now it's just so known, and so many people are getting healed at this place. But it's all seems to be connected to that part of our history where we became interested in spiritualism, ghosts, seances, etc., and the realms that people never wanted to talk about, obviously because of the strength of the Catholic Church and Christianity. People began to kind of question in the early 1900s patriarchy and just the idea of just this male masculine god. So Chalice Well represents the divine feminine. We can see this even in the sacred image. This is the fish, this is the bladder of the fish, this is the vagina, all of this entire image is very feminine in nature. And this book discusses, obviously, this image, the sacred geometry of it, and it also obviously is going to be giving you a lot of history of writers that were there, classic writers that were present there, and people who preserved this place, and women who fought for this place. And one of the first women that was protecting this place was a feminist. And she had a very difficult life as well. And she was a Pisces. Also, a lot of Piscean women have difficult lives. famous Piscean women. So this book deals with the preservation of this place from the very beginning, and its blossoming of what it is today. And a lot of amazing things occurred at these locations. So one of them is that I found very interesting. First, we have the waters. A lot of things were stolen on this property as well. They had statues stolen, etc. But there are trees that are hundreds and hundreds of years old, apple trees, and there are these gardens that are around the property. And what I found fascinating is that there were psychic people there that were just naturally psychic who would come there. And one of these gentlemen had an experience where he saw Pan. He saw the devas. He saw the elemental beings and spirits that were on this land. And they're ancient, ancient beings who were there by these waters around the gardens. And he actually had a conversation with Pan and was saying that this place had to be preserved, and how the nature spirits were angry that the humans no longer believed in them and that they didn't respect them. So we can we can see how this is somewhat connected with a lot of this idea of how that if you don't believe in something, it disappears, or they're not there anymore, etc. Whatever it is, how belief makes something become a reality. When you believe it, you will it to be. So these nature spirits are very concerned about what's going on with our earth, etc. Well, anyway, once again, Chalice Well, to just give you a synopsis of this book, because it's loaded with images that I'll show you too, is a place of, it's also on ley lines on our earth. There's ley lines that are there as well. It's a place that is so powerful in keeping the goddess alive on our planet, keeping the divine feminine here. And she was always here, and she's going to be there, but she's going to get more strong now. This place is almost somewhere between worlds. A lot of people say this place makes you feel like you're between worlds. You feel like something is going on at this place. I've never been. I would like to go. And so this place is basically a place that gives us a respect for things that are non-patriarchal, that are not associated with quote-unquote patriarchal religions. This is like the divine feminine upon our earth that respects other realms. It respects spiritualism, the study of the paranormal, and everything to do with believing in things that are not seen. So I view this place as a place of a place where all of these things are respected, that people used to be very interested in. With that, again, this is the Art Nouveau period. So this place began to be discovered and respected and protected during that Art Nouveau period, which is a time of peace, of the Golden Age. Art Nouveau was the kind of like the Golden Age, and it was very much a time of respecting women. This is a time where slowly women were fighting for their own rights as human beings. And, this wasn't that long ago. Women were seen as nothing just about 130 years ago. It's frightening. So Chalice Well is like a sanctuary of for women, almost, for the divine feminine of the goddess. I mean, and this is present with the waters. The water is feminine. Water is feminine in nature, and it's a place of emotions. And it's almost like you're entering her. This place is like entering into her, this womb of the goddess. So this is kind of what the book is. This is my synopsis and understanding of this book, that this is a place for the goddess. This is a goddess place, a goddess-oriented location. It has nothing to do with patriarchy, etc. And I believe some people want to associate a bit with the Virgin Mary as well, and Jesus, yes. Because again, it's called chalice, because the chalice is a feminine symbol. It's a womb. However, people also want to associate it with the chalice of the Jesus's cup, okay? And again, there is some talk about this chalice that they did find. It's a blue vessel. They talk about it a bit in the book, but I'll stop there and I'm going to show you some of these images, okay? And it's a very beautiful book. I was actually going to film it outside I wanted to film it outside in nature. However, I just decided to film it inside. It's getting colder and colder now, and I didn't want to be outside. And the book is kind of heavy to carry to a location. So I kind of didn't want to film it outside, but I wanted to just also be able to, and it's been raining. I didn't want to get the book wet. Again, so you could see this is the garden, and this is where they speak about how the garden became what it is today. It has a timeline, and it talks about also what I just mentioned about Pan, etc., and those experiences that that gentleman had with Pan and the elemental beings in that garden. And these are all the wonderful people who have helped Chalice well, who have taken care of it. And it gives you a history of it all. It gives you a history of how that cover was made, why it was made, why the choice of, that symbol, the geometric shape. And it's very beautiful, and how much, the place has gone through a lot. There were, theatrics at this place. There were, obviously, there were just a lot of ups and downs with this place. So here is Alfred Lord Tennyson. And there's this beautiful caretaker lady who wore his cloak throughout all of her life, almost, it seemed like. It was all worn. So there's very beautiful, prominent people who have been associated with this place. One is Dion Fortune, and she actually writes a book that I have to read called The Sea Priestess. It's a novel, and it's associated with Morgan Le Fay in Atlantis. So I have to read that book. I just reminded myself I got to look it up and save it again in my eBay watch list. And so when I have money that I can buy it again, some extra money. But anyway, so I really hope you enjoy looking through this and listening to this video. I hope it was interesting and informative. There is no author. It's just created by Chalice Well Press. And again, it's a very high quality book. It's obviously exquisite. Look at this cover. This is the back. It's very thick. And it's very, it's heavy and it's high quality. So I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.